Traumatic story time. Here's another traumatic story time. Trigger warning, there will be trauma. Several of you have asked me to give the backstory on the church that I went to and what all happened there. So this is a story time specifically about the church where I met my abuser. I started going to this church. It's called Apostolic Tabernacle, located in Fifth Ward, Houston, when I was in middle school, so maybe 7th or 8th grade. At the time, I was living with my dad in Fifth Ward, and it was close enough to walk to from his house, so I would just walk there on Sundays and Wednesday night Bible studies and all that. I met my abuser when I was 16, so he joined the church after I did, and he started coming, and he started randomly sitting next to me one day, and then it just kind of went from there. He invited me out to lunch after church one day, and he started hanging out with me after church on Sundays, and then we moved from Sundays to Saturday dates, and then sometimes Fridays. When I moved back out to Fort Bend, where my mom stayed, he would drive over an hour to come and pick me up, take me out to dinner, hang out, go back to his house, give me alcohol, all of those things. Several people in the church, including the pastor, and this is the pastor, Pastor Roch, he knew about this so-called air quotes relationship that I was having at 16 with this almost 30-year-old man. And since I was a child, obviously I couldn't go to any bars or any real adult places. So he would only take me to either dinner. We would either go to Benihana's or Red Robin or, someplace like that for either lunch or dinner. And then we would either go to someplace like Slick Willie's, which is like a pool hall here in Houston, because there's no age requirement or anything like that. So, he very much knew what he was doing. He knew my age. He knew I was too young to, go to any actual adult place. So we went to the movies a lot. We saw The Da Vinci Code when that came out. We saw Memoirs of a Geisha. We saw The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. We went to the movies a lot because, once again, I was a child. And like I said in my previous videos, for those of you who keep asking where were my parents were checked out. My parents pretty much let us raise ourselves. Once my parents divorced, I think, to get back at each other, to go tit for tat with each other, they would do like a lot of comparisons when it came to their parenting style, and basically telling each other that, you're the worst parent. No, you're the worst parent. And look what you did, or look what you did. So pretty much letting me be a wayward child was like their reasoning or whatever to blame each other and to say, you fucked up. No, you fucked up. Mind you, I did live with both of my parents at one particular time. I lived with my mom for a period of years, and I lived with my dad for a period of years. Neither one of them were really involved with my life. Although when I moved back out with my mom didn't know that I was dating this guy. I don't think she knew exactly how old he was, but she knew that he was definitely older than me and not a teenage child. So yes, there's enough blame here for everyone. My parents definitely failed me as the adults to go to. They did not protect me. They totally failed me. As a mother now of a 17-year-old, I'm so involved in his life, not like a helicopter parent, but definitely involved to where if any adult, male, female, whatever, if they were trying to befriend my child, if they were trying to hang out with my child like that, my antennas would be up trying to figure out what the fuck do you as a 30-year-old person have in common with this 17-year-old child who can't drive, who can't go to a bar, who can't vote, can't do anything, can't go to the doctor without his mother, nothing. So I would definitely have some questions, more questions than my parents had. So anyway, back to the church. When I found out that I was pregnant, and he didn't immediately ghost me. He ghosted me maybe a couple weeks afterwards, because we found out together. I peed on 2 pregnancy tests while I was at his house. So we found out together. And then he almost immediately started questioning me, asked me if I slept with someone else and trying to deny it, trying to pressure me into admitting that there was a possibility of someone else when there was no one else. He came to my first ultrasound, and then he pretty much ghosted me. And like I said, at this time I was living at my mom's house way in Fort Bend, over an hour away from the Woodlands. I didn't have a car, didn't know how to drive, could not reach out to him once he blocked me and stopped answering my phone calls and stuff. That I had no way of contacting this man. So yeah, he ghosted me. And then when I went back to the church, I scheduled a meeting with the pastor, with Pastor Roch, and I talked to him about it. And this man, I kid you not, he looked me dead in my face and told me that Ryan, my child's father, was not worth pursuing because he was broke and that he was living off of his wife. This is what this pastor told me as a brand new teenage mother. Told me not to pursue the almost 30-year-old man, or at the time he was past 30. Told me not to pursue him because he didn't have any money. Mind you, I had $0. I was a teenage mother. So any money that he had at that time would have helped. So that is an example of another adult in my life who is an authority figure who also failed me.